Hello, and thank you for your interest in work experience at San Diego Mesa College. Work experience is the academic class associated with job, internship, or volunteer position. Students are able to learn new skills and gain real-world training in the field while being supported by Mesa faculty and receiving academic credit. Students interested in work experience should visit the Work Experience website at sdmesa.edu/work, WORK-EXP. This short tutorial will provide instructions on the requirements needed in order for students to enroll, as well as the online forms that are required. Work experience is a non-traditional course at Mesa College, meaning it doesn't have specific class times that a student is required to meet on campus. All of the hours that a student completes for the class will be done at the work site while a student is gaining hands-on experience. Because the course is a non-traditional class and is managed by California Education Code as well as Title V, there are certain requirements and steps that a student must follow in order to receive an ad code or permission number from a faculty member to enroll in a work experience class. First and foremost, a student must be a current Mesa College student. If you haven't already done so, you can apply online at sdmesa.edu/apply. Next, a student must secure a job, internship, or volunteer position. The position may be paid or unpaid. Mesa College offers services through the Career Center as well as work-based learning to help us support a student in finding a position. However, it is ultimately up to the student's responsibility to secure a position on their own. There is an online work experience application as well as an online employer agreement that needs to be submitted by your site supervisor or employer. In order to complete these online forms, a student must first watch the work experience orientation, which provides an overview of expectations of the class. While a student is watching the orientation, you'll be expected to complete the orientation quiz. This document can be found on the Work Experience website and should be saved to a student's computer as it needs to be uploaded into the Work Experience application when you're ready. Work experience as a part of Title IX requires all students to complete the sexual harassment prevention training. Students can log into a system called Everfi with your Mesa CSID to complete Part 1. All sections and the Exam 1 are required. Again, as a student has completed this training, you'll be able to save your course progress report as a file to your computer, as it will need to be uploaded into the Work Experience application. Once a student has completed those steps, you'll be able to start the work experience application, which the link can be found on the website. The links for work experience application and forms do change every semester, so please make sure you are completing the correct work experience application for the term you wish to enroll. As you see, the work experience application is asking for course information. It's important that you choose Mesa College as your campus, as well as the academic term and year. Mesa College offers a variety of work experience classes. First, general work experience, which is Work 272, is a placement for any type of work, job, or internship, or volunteer position. Next, occupational work experience is a job, internship, or volunteer position that is related to your career path or major of interest. Lastly, we offer discipline-specific work experience courses, such as GIS 270, Hospitality 270, Interior Design 270. These courses are taught by discipline-specific faculty. Some academic programs at Mesa, certificates and associate's degrees, require students to take work experience in order to graduate. Please check with a counselor or faculty member to see if it's a required course for your program. Mesa offers work experience in increments of 1 to 4 units. And as the course is managed by California Education Code, there are certain requirements that are expected within the class, including minimum number of hours that a student must complete or work at their work site. Work experience is based off 1 unit of completion of 60 unpaid work hours or 75 paid work hours. The minimum number of hours goes up incrementally per unit, as you can see here. It's really important that you pay attention to this when you're choosing a class and review your weekly schedule at your worksite to ensure that you're able to meet the minimum number of hours. Students that are not able to meet this minimum will not successfully pass the work experience course. The rest of the application asks for your personal student information. Here you're going to enter your name, CSID, your phone number, your email. It'll ask for your prior work experience units completed. Students are able to take work experience repeatedly up to maximum 16 units lifetime. This is great if you have a great internship or a job that you really like and you want to continue working there and receive college credit for that. You can repeat work experience several times, up to 16 units. We ask that you provide the work experience units here so we know ahead of time. You'll have to answer a few questions about yourself. And then next, you'll provide details about your placement, your job, internship, or volunteer position. We need to know whether the position is paid or unpaid, your title, how long you've worked there, how long you've worked in the specific position, and your main duties and responsibilities. Next, you'll be required to answer risk management questions associated with your position. You'll see that it asks whether you operate a vehicle, hazardous materials, private residence, operate heavy equipment, or work with minors. If you answer yes to any of the above risk management questions, you will be required to provide additional details of your position responsibilities. We see this a lot with our animal health students, exercise science, sometimes fashion or interior design. So please make sure that you provide details of your role. If you answer no to any of those questions, you can just type NA in the box. Next, we ask for your work schedule. Here, please be as specific as possible. If you don't know your exact schedule, that's okay. Please provide an anticipated schedule that you plan to follow. Here, please provide the hours that you work each day. For example, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. is a 3-hour shift. You'll do that each day of the week. And then as you can see on the right-hand side, you're going to be entering in the average total hours per week. This is really important so that our faculty members can verify that you will in fact earn the minimum number of hours during the term. Next, you'll review and provide your organization information. So company name, your site supervisor. This is the person that will supervise your day-to-day operations, as well as evaluate you during your SDCCD work experience. You'll want to provide your supervisor's phone number and email. It's really important that you provide this information accurately, as we do contact your site supervisor electronically using this form and the information provided. Next, you'll be required to upload the requirements needed for work experience. As I mentioned previously, you'll be required to submit your work experience quiz that was saved to your computer when you watched the orientation previously. You'll also be required to upload your sexual harassment prevention training, your course progress report to show completion. If you get to this step and you haven't completed it, there are links here where you can access the orientation as well as the quiz, as well as instructions on how to view the sexual harassment prevention training, as well as an example of what we're looking for the sexual harassment prevention training. As this is a Title IX requirement, we do need to see on the course progress report your full name, email address, and student ID, as well as completion of all Section 1 and passage of the exam. Please make sure that your file that you're uploading does include this information. Otherwise, you will be asked to provide a new document. There are some additional requirements that may be expected of certain students depending upon your placement type as well as your major. For students that are completing an on-campus unpaid internship at Mesa College, often we see this with our animal health students, our culinary, exercise science. Those students will be required to complete an SDCCD volunteer form. This form is required to provide your personal information, your placement details, an emergency contact, and it must be signed by your department supervisor as well as dean or manager. This form needs to be completed by the time you submit your application in order to receive an ad code. Lastly, for our child development students, those that are completing work experience, Child Development 270, along with Child Development 151, which is typically taught in the spring term, those classes are co-requisites of each other, and students must provide proof of vaccination. You can find the vaccination form here as well as on the work experience website. Finally, work experience is designed to help students develop professional skills throughout your hands-on experience. We ask students to evaluate your performance and ability for your 21st century workplace skills prior to beginning your work experience placement. The idea here is that you're reflecting on your skills and abilities, and the ratings of your student performance will be shared with your work experience instructor and site supervisor to be discussed at the beginning and end of your work experience. We want students to be able to develop over the course of the term, think of ways that they can improve and enhance their competencies and skill sets, and see their progress over the semester. Please make sure that you're not just choosing excellent for all of these skill sets, and you're really doing some self-reflection to understand what your skill level is. If you'd like to provide some comments and feedback of your student evaluation, you may do so. Lastly, students will sign the form here. You will sign using your mouse or a finger if you are using a phone or tablet. You'll need to provide the date, and then you'll click Submit. If a student starts the online application, but you are missing some information or some requirements, you can always click Save and Resume here at the bottom, which will allow you to develop a unique URL with the information you've entered. You want to make sure that you copy and paste this URL link to the email to yourself. At a later time, you can click on the link in your email to open the form and enter any remaining information or add a signature to submit. Once you submit this form, you'll receive this screen, which shows that you've entered your online work experience application. When you do so, you will receive an email that shows that you have submitted your work experience application. It also provides you information about next steps that happens in work experience. Your site supervisor will receive an email asking them to complete the online employer agreement, and you'll get access to the work experience online forms checklist. Your site supervisor also receives an email asking them again to complete that employer agreement. This form is required in order for students to receive an ad code and to enroll in a work experience class. This form essentially is signed by your site supervisor and employer for them to agree that they will be supervising you throughout the duration of the term. They will be required to enter your personal information as a student, employment, internship, or volunteer information, company details, their personal contact information, as well as sign off on the authorization to supervise you as a student. Once this form is submitted, along with all other requirements, your work experience faculty will contact you to provide an ad code, as well as the next steps to attend an in-person orientation where your faculty member will review their syllabus, as well as expectations for the course and remaining online forms that are required. After the online orientation, students are able to begin counting hours within the dates of the work experience class. The student will work with their work experience faculty to set up the first site visit that occurs with the student, site supervisor, and work experience faculty at your worksite placement. If you have any questions about work experience, please make sure to contact the work experience coordinator, Sean Fawcett, at the contact information at the work experience website. You can always also reach out to your work experience faculty member if you have any questions about enrollment. We look forward to having you as a work experience student at San Diego Mesa College and helping you develop your career skills throughout this experience.